Science shows it's biology that determines when a woman starts menopause, but what if environmental factors change that? New research suggests chemicals found in beauty products may cause early menopause. Here to explain is the Tox Doc, Dr. Noreen Khan-Mayberry. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Where did this study come from?
So the University of Washington in St. Louis, Missouri. So what they did was they looked at almost 32,000 women.
So a lot of, we're talking about a large sample, not just a few.
A very large sampling here. And what they did is they looked at biomarkers in blood and urine to test for the presence of certain environmental contaminants, potentially toxic and known toxic chemicals. And what they were able to find is that there may be a link if you've got a greater amount or exposure that you have kind of retained over time and early onset menopause.
Now, when we talk about early onset, we're not talking about a few months either. We're talking about years, which can make a big difference in a woman's life.
A big difference if you're trying to plan for a family or you have children or you delayed having a family. I mean, we're talking anywhere from almost 2 years to 4 years earlier than you would, naturally expect to happen.
Well, if I was sitting at home right now, I would be sitting on the edge of my couch saying, tell me what chemicals, what do I need to avoid?
Okay, so what they found is the presence of dioxins. They found the presence of phthalates, which is in plastics and hair products, just everywhere. The PCBs as well. PCBs have been banned for decades, but they have such a long half-life that, you're still finding them. So fragrances, anything that says fragrance on it, it's that mixture of unknown chemicals that I've talked about, some of which can be carcinogenic as well, are cosmetics, hairspray, plastics. I've even talked about the little plastic baggies. Anything that softens plastic is a phthalate, so soft plastics.
Now, while we have the list, that doesn't do me a lot of good because those are in our life, and I can't fathom life without them. So then what do you do?
So what you have to start doing is being selective about which types of products that you use. So you can slowly eliminate some of the products that aren't your favorites. I understand if you have a favorite hairspray, but you can start to look for alternatives that don't have the phthalates in there, and you can look for other products and slowly eliminate. I understand as a woman myself who uses cosmetics that you have to be selective, but I also understand when we have our favorites, it's hard to switch. So again, I say go with your least favorite. Start switching those out first, and then you can make different changes. But also, I always talk about, the dose making the poison. So the more that you have in your life, the greater the dosages and the greater the possibility of these things being retained in your system. You've got to take care of your liver, because once your liver doesn't function as well, then you have a higher residence time, and so you've got a longer chance or a greater chance of having greater amounts in your blood and urine levels.
Well, and when you're talking about menopause 4 years earlier, it sounds like it's worth it to make a few changes to change that.
It is definitely worth it because there's so many other risks involved. Now, the study said that there was a link here. It's not definitive proof, but we're having this great wealth of evidence that's pointing to so many of these chemicals in our foods, in our beauty care products, in our environment, that we could really lower the dosage of and help to increase the quality of our life, get us healthier. So it's worth doing it. It's definitely worth doing.
And when we hear, we have so much more to talk about, and I'm going to post some of this on my Facebook page. So thanks for being here, Dr. Noreen Khan-Mayberry. Excellent information to share with our viewers.
Thank you. Love sharing. Good to see you too.